Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Dia, Lauren Frey, and the upcoming Jaw the Dragon. So, with the new Mario Strikers on the way right now, I believe in about 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, there has been a lot of discussion about the game and how it stacks up against the first two entries, changes made, like all that stuff, like reasonable discussion as to what we can expect from this compared to like other Mario sports games, other Mario games in the franchise, like Mario spin-offs in general. And it's been a really interesting situation because I have personally been witness to several instances of Pretendos trying to rise up and fabricate controversies out of nothing when it comes to this specific release. Right, this was a hotly requested game for Nintendo Switch, one of the series that people wanted the most, I would say. It's been hotly requested on Twitter, but I keep seeing all these weird complaints about it. Like, in particular, the drip feed content thing, which I think I'll need to make another video about because that involves other sports games and uh, a whole other like conspiracy in relation to that. You have like the team captain thing, like not having sidekicks, like changing goalies, like some visual design choices. Uh, but like what I think it all boils down to, what I think people really need to acknowledge is that this is another example of edgy Mario artists being angry that Strikers Battle League isn't darker and edgier than like the first two games. I think that's what it boils down to. Like it reminds me a lot of how people shit on the newer Paper Mario games for not having as dark as a story as Super Paper Mario or Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Like they'll try and deflect and say that like, oh, it's because of the gameplay changes, it's because the games aren't very good, but in reality it's entirely because of the aesthetic and like the story. Like that's the real reason people get uppity when it comes to these kind of things. They don't want to admit that because like who really cares about story in a Mario game, right? But that is true. Like the reason people are so upset over Mario Strikers Battle League is because it's perceived as being massively toned down compared to the first two games. And I don't really see it, if anything. Like it's still Strikers, it still has like the great animations, it still has like everything that makes Strikers fun to play. But like people are saying that like it's been Mario mandated, which again, like in a post Odyssey world, I think it's safe to say the Mario mandate does not actually exist. That it's been that the game's not good. Like it's a bunch of people trying to fabricate controversies essentially, and it's one of the most bizarre things I've seen in quite some time, especially since like every every argument they've tried to put forward to like to argue this point has been like shot down. Like for example, like oh man, like people tried to argue the animations weren't good. We've seen some more of them, and they look fantastic. Like people that have tried to say that like it's not as the gameplay isn't as well balanced when if anything that the opposite seems to be true. Like people seem to be desperately trying to find something to hold against this game in order to downplay its popularity, because this is probably going to be one of the best selling Mario sports games ever. I would say I could see this doing like 5 million units. Like this is going to be way more popular than tennis and golf, and not just because Strikers is higher quality. Like just by the nature of soccer being a much more popular sport than tennis or golf. So I uh I expect that Pretendos are going to be seething come June, and Strikers becomes one of the best-selling games in the on the Switch. I'm very excited to see just how this game turns out.